concerned what that would do to this very rural, quiet, and at nighttime, rather dark neighborhood. There was a compromise that was reached. I think only 4 of the lights were eventually turned on, but this raised concerns about what could happen in the future and what the city's role could or could not be. So on the first part, on a vote of 5-0, we, the committee recommended that staff at some point, there is no hurry, give a presentation on what lighting ordinances actually exist around the country and what possibly we could do if it comes to that. There's a feeling for a need for an ordinance. On the second one, it was a vote of 2-3. The committee failed to designate a portion of, or recommend a portion of Moore Farm Road and Concord Road as an open space or some sort of park. The city owns that land. There's really no use for it that the city foresees, except sometime in the future if that road has to be widened, like it becomes a highway or something, and there needs to be something in that regard. That's very unlikely. The city would not sell it. They've already been on record they're not going to sell it to any private property owner. The space will remain as is. We're pretty secure that that will happen, and the city will not sell the land. And the last portion, we're recommending that the city manager enter discussions with Public Service of New Hampshire, developing an agreement for private lighting access on pole. This is why we're recommending sometime in the future maybe an ordinance be considered. We felt, the committee felt, and Mr. Berry felt that this was a good, appropriate first step. It could yield some useful discussion and decisions regarding private lighting, and hopefully it will create more of a sensitivity from PSNH on the impact of their activities, basically letting people buy lights and rent their space, and creating concerns such as we've had to deal with on and off for the past year and a half.
Thank you. Are there any further questions or comments? Councilor Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. Duffy did a good job explaining. If I could just add to that, I think we did say at the committee meeting that the third section would take precedence over the first section. We might find, if we're successful with the third section, we might not need the first section. I just want to make sure that was clear.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, are you ready for a vote? All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. 3.
We have an informational report from the Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee relative to the 2014 Green Up Keene event.
And we will file this as informational. Number 4. I do want to acknowledge and thank all of the participants, volunteers, staff, and businesses that helped in Green Up Keene this year. It was actually a very successful event this year. There were several hundred people that actually participated in it, and we very much appreciate the work and the efforts that they put into this program. Number 4.
We have an informational report from the Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee relative to the Scores Bar and Grill installation of paving material at their sidewalk cafe.
And we will file this into the record as information. Number 5.
We have a Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee report relative to the Keene Swamp Bats request to discharge fireworks, and on a vote of 5-0, the Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee recommends that the Keene Swamp Bats be granted permission for the discharge of Class B fireworks on Saturday, June 14, 2014, on Alumni Field, no later than 10 p.m., subject to the customary licensing requirements of the council, that a signed letter of permission from SAU 29 be submitted for use of their property, and that a Class B fireworks permit be obtained. In addition, the petitioner agrees to comply with all recommendations of the Keene Fire Department and the Keene Police Department. Further, this permission is conditional upon the Keene Swamp Bats absorbing the charges for any city services provided. The report further requests placing their June 3rd, July 3rd event on more time. Signed, David C. Richards.
Council Richards.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move the intent of the committee report.
Council Richards.
This is the annual request from the Swamp Bats. The event dates June 14th. Please attend the one-night field. All city requirements having been met, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee unanimously recommends granting this request.
Is there any further questions or comments? Seeing none, are you ready for a vote? I guess you're ready for a vote. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. The second item on here, which is the Swamp Bats request for fireworks for July 3rd, 2014, will be placed on more time and will be taken, I assume you're going to put, are you going to put that on your next meeting?
Yes.
agenda? All right. Number 6.
We have a Planning Licenses and Development Committee report relative to the Cheshire County Sheriff's Office radio equipment. And on a vote of 5 to 0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends that the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to negotiate and execute an agreement with the Cheshire County Sheriff's Office to permit the installation and maintenance of radio equipment at the City of Keene Water Treatment Facility. Signed, David C. Richards.
Council Richards.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move the intent of the committee report.
It's been moved and seconded. Council Richards.
Arlene Crowell addressed the committee on the request from the Sheriff's Department to install and maintain a dish antenna at the wastewater treatment facility. Once installed, this will improve radio coverage for the Sheriff's Department patrol cars. Apparently they're having some issues, and that is the high spot that will help them. All costs for the installation and maintenance will be the responsibility of the Sheriff's Department. This motion grants the city manager authorization to negotiate and execute an agreement. And the Planning Licenses and Development Committee unanimously recommends granting this request.
Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing none, are you ready for a vote? All those in favor? Opposed? You really want me to move this thing on, don't you, Kris? Number 7.
We have a Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to tax deeds for unpaid 2011 property taxes. And on a vote of 5 to 0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that the city manager be authorized to waive tax deeding of the properties listed in the memorandum from the revenue collector dated May 15, 2014 until August 1, 2014. Signed, Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Council Greenwald.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Council Greenwald.
Thank you, Your Honor. This involves 25 properties that have unpaid 2011 property taxes. Part of the process, you don't pay the first year, you do the second year, after the third year, the tax lien is instituted. Part of the state law, RSA 80:76, the tax collector must execute a tax deed unless the city council directs the collector to waive the process. That's what this is about. It buys these individuals, these 25 people, additional time to find the money, come up with a plan, and redeem their properties. They've all been notified that this is going on, and history says that most will actually succeed in taking care of their obligations. This action will authorize the city manager to sign the deed waivers, and hopefully we will be successful in collecting all the taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing none, are you ready for a vote? All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Number 8.
We have a Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to the sublease of the Thomas Hangar. And on a vote of 5 to 0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to negotiate and execute a sublease agreement with the named party. Signed, Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Council Greenwald.
Thank you. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Council Greenwald.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Carl Thomas owns a hangar at the airport just off the side of Route 32, not being currently used.